Thanks for joining GamePoints, our weekly get-together where we discuss whatever news that we happen to find interesting over the past week. I am your host, Stephen Brown. Down there is Sean Brown, and across from him is David Smith. Say hey, guys.
Hello.
If you're watching us live, thanks for joining us. We are starting a day later than normal because we had some people flying back home from certain places, and we just honestly couldn't do it on Monday, so we're doing it on Tuesday. Thanks for understanding. If you're watching this on YouTube, hi, how you doing? This will also go up a day later than normal. Before we get right into the swing of things, I want to go ahead and ask, how many of you guys watched the Manny Pacquiao fight?
Yo.
Sean did. David, did you see it at all?
Yeah.
I saw some of it. I didn't actually watch the thing live.
What did you think, Sean?
Okay, so
It's really hard
if I was
to
a
be
betting man,
I was gonna say it's really hard to be disappointed when it's exactly what everyone thought it was going to be.
if it was a betting man, I would have bet on money, Mayweather, but I wanted Pacquiao to win. There was only one way Pacquiao was gonna win that fight, and that was gonna be in a knockout, just because Mayweather's name. If it was a close fight at all, it was gonna go to Money Mayweather just because of his name alone, and boxing's kind of turned that way.
You're saying the corruption would have made the judges put it in his favor?
Dude,
looks like J.S. Williams watched as well. J.S. Williams, hey, thanks for showing up.
yeah, man. Mayweather picked the ref of the fight.
Did he
Yeah.
really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
No, he picked everything. It
I
was
know
all-
he set 12
Yeah.
rounds, which is just what he does. That's his thing.
Yeah, well, it also pisses me off that he ducked Pacquiao for 5 years when Pacquiao was in his prime, and now chooses to fight him.
Yeah, there's something
you're a
fucked
little
up about
bitch.
that, too.
Yeah, and Pacquiao doesn't even fight anymore. He's probably fought maybe 2 fights for every 7 fights Mayweather's done, so he just doesn't stay in shape anymore. And Pacquiao actually looked like he was in shape this fight too. He did really well, and apparently he had a torn rotator cuff, which he didn't announce, which a lot of
He's
people are
going to
pissed
get in some
about.
trouble over that, too, apparently.
Yeah, and if people are questioning why he's gonna get in trouble for that, it's because of betting. So basically, you're withholding stuff that can affect a match. So people gambling on you are at a disadvantage.
It could be considered match fixing almost. Not quite, but it does fuck up the odds, and there's a lot of money involved in that. You want to talk about a national hero, though? Yeah, J.S. Williams actually brings up in chat the second I say it. He's a goddamn congressman in the Philippines.
Correct.
And that country was so expected so many people to turn in that fight. They were actually the government was telling their citizens, shut down your refrigerators for 2 hours to keep the power drain on the power plants from browning out, because everyone was going to have their TV on simultaneously. I found that interesting.
Yeah,
Anyways.
but most people hate Mayweather. He's a woman-hating son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy. We're going.
All you gotta do is look around on the internet, and you'll find pictures, even on Facebook, of that one fake picture of Pacquiao holding up a sign that says he hits his wife more than he hit me.
Yeah.
Horrible, horrible man, and he made $180 million.
Yep.
But you don't have to be good to be talented. Anyways, this show is called GamePoints, so let's go ahead and get right into the gaming and go ahead and talk about what I thought was the biggest thing last week was Batman's DLC announcement for their season pass. David, you look like you're about to say something there.
You mean their season pass announcement?
What did I say?
That was the best part about that whole story, is that the last game of the Arkham trilogy, or whatever the fuck they're calling it, had announced a season pass for $40.
And told no one in
no,
it. Yeah.
No information on what's included, what it is, what DLC was planned.
They're all, give us $40 and you'll get something.
Well, we're gonna do something. It's gonna happen. You'll get an amount of stuff for $40. And people got real mad about that.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so. I think the three of us, I think, have collectively always been against this kind of bullshit. But it's starting to get so obscene, even the common buyer, as it were, is starting to go, wait a minute, you're going to take $40 from me. What am I getting? Well, I can't tell you. I don't know. No. What am I paying my $40 for? You will find out. You have to buy the season pass to know what's in the season pass.
It's like a Kickstarter, but with no goals.
Exactly.
It really is.
Now, of course, a lot of people got pissed off about this, rightfully so, in my opinion. So, Warner Brothers, over the weekend, they kind of released it over the weekend during the low news things to see what was in it. And they finally came and said, hey, we've heard. In fact, let me go ahead and bring up the blog post here. Here we go. Earlier this week, we announced Season Pass for Batman Arkham Knight. While the story of Rocksteady's Batman Arkham trilogy will come to a close on June 23rd, blah, 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 techno-babble. We've heard from our community that you want more information on what we'll be delivering in the Season Pass, which, God fucking forbid, Warner Brothers tell people what they're spending money for. Oh, God, how dare the plebes ask for fucking information on what they're going to buy. We would like to share more detail now to give you a better sense of the scope of the Season Pass. Essentially, it's going to come with the Batgirl prequel, probably showing you how she gets shot. Season of Infamy, which is going to feature a bunch of extra villains and new story arcs for all the sub-characters, Gotham City stories, and then your typical challenge maps, character skins, Batmobile changes, everything like that. Now the
races, Batmobile races.
Shit like that, like challenges and races and cosmetic shit. Sure, knock yourself out. Charge all you want to. But when the game's not even out and you already have full extra story-based missions on there, that's bullshit. That's hunking off chunks of the game and selling them separately.
Yeah. This is the thing that we've been yelling about for Ubisoft's been doing. And
everyone's been doing. And I'm going to keep yelling about it every time it comes up. I'm not just going to let Warner Brothers or anyone get a free pass on this bullshit, because you were literally devoting resources before the game's out to make shit that hasn't come out yet.
Well, last I checked, Warner Brothers just released Mortal Kombat, right? And
yes, they did. Now think about all the
train wreck.
Yeah, broken at launch, pay for easy fatalities, fucking Goro hidden behind a paywall. That's like, hey, here's this Mario game. You want to play Luigi? Give us $5.
Did any of the other Batman games have a lot of paid DLC?
Yeah, Batman Origins had a bunch of paid DLC, and I want to say Arkham City had like the Mr. Freeze DLC. No, Mr. Freeze was Origins. I know that was the first one that had a lot of them in there.
Arkham Asylum actually had a lot of challenges and stuff included.
Good point. Yeah, the earlier games had shit that was included that they're now charging for as DLC.
That's what I was trying to get at. I didn't know, because I've never played these games before, so I didn't have a good bearing of what they had in the game previously or not.
Go ahead.
There was still DLC, I think, for Asylum, because wasn't there like the Joker pack?
They had like the play as Harley Quinn stuff, but it wasn't, if I recall correctly, it wasn't released at launch. It was released like 6 months later, when you can tell they didn't just build that alongside the game and decided to charge separately for it.
Okay, let's go back. I found it. So the DLC for Arkham Asylum, the Night Challenge pack was free. The Joker pack was free. The Darkness pack was free. The other challenge pack was free. The only things that they had that were pay, there was a couple bonus challenges that came out way after, like May of the next year, and it's a game that released in like August.
I.e. resources that should have gone to making the game as bug-free as it possibly could weren't spent making DLC to sell later. That was done after release.
And there were like 2 challenge map packs released at $3 each.
Okay. I'm fine with that. What's going to piss me off is if this game is buggy as fucking Origin was, and you go, okay, you had how much time to fix this, and you fucking spent resources on charging me, making shit to charge me more for when the shit I bought originally didn't work. Once again, look at Arkham Origins. They had game-breaking bugs in that. You couldn't finish some of the Watchtower shit because one of them was actually busted on PC, straight up busted, and you had to wait over a month for them to release a patch for that. You couldn't get 100% completion in that game.
Classic.
Anyways, ranting on about that. There are a couple companies that are learning their lesson. Like, for example, DLC, the way Star Wars Battlefront's doing it. I'm fine with that when they go, hey, if you pre-order it, you get this DLC day one. If you didn't
At least it's going in a better direction.
Yeah, if you didn't pre-order it, it's free a week later. Yeah. I'm fine with that idea. I don't know about you guys, but that seems fine to me.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't really have a problem with map DLC and stuff like that to begin with.
Stuff that doesn't affect the core game.
Correct.
Like if it's a couple months, if it's a couple months out with as far as map DLC, I'm fine with too.
Yeah. Now, if you make a game and then like, say you make a Call of Duty game and like it's released on Tuesday and Wednesday they release a map pack, then
that I have issues with. That's my problem. That's why I'm taking issue with this.
It's the day one.
Yeah, they could have lied to me and just kept the stuff in reserve and released it a couple months later, and I wouldn't have known the difference. But it seems fucking crass to ask $60 from me and then ask an additional $40 at the gate to play 2 missions.
Well, there's actually kind of an interesting article that I was reading this last week that brought this into an interesting perspective for me. And it's mainly talking about the fact that think of buying games 10, 15 years ago. Like, how much did a Super Nintendo game cost?
Anywhere between $60 to $100.
And like an N64 game?
A little bit cheaper.
Like 70 to 80.
Yeah, games
now,
are cheaper
when
now
we
than they've
hit
been.
that's what I was getting to. So when we got to like the PS2, Xbox era, games kind of hit this magical $60 price point, and they've been sitting there for a while.
Not only that, but if it was a first-party game, it was unsurprising to see them at $40.
Yeah, and
a lot
so
of
you
the
have
PlayStation
games
2
that are
classics
releasing
for
at
$40.
$60 and $40, and the price of making games has not gone down at all.
No, if anything,
there's-
it's far more costly to make games today than it was 10 years ago.
Especially AAA games.
Yes.
So what I was reading is that there's a version of Batman available for $60, like depending on how you look at it. There's a version of Batman that's available for $60, but the actual game is $100. If you want the whole game, that's what you're spending. And it's just a way for companies to kind of recoup some of the losses they're making by making these AAA titles and releasing them still at a $60 price point, whereas they could have easily gone the other way, and you could include all of this stuff in the main game and just charge $80, $90, $100 for it, and that be the sole price point for the game.
I get that logic. However, I will also contend that AAA game development has run amok as far as costs go, and that's it's not on the development. It's not on the development side or anything like that. It's when it is. Let me rephrase that. It is on the development side when you have 150 people working on one like Assassin's Creed title, when you can take a huge hit like fucking Minecraft and have one person make it.
Yeah,
we've gone nuts with our budgets rather than keeping them in control, and they're trying to, instead of look internally to figure out what the problem is, they're looking at us to milk that, but they're being dishonest about how they milk it. If they want to come out and say, hey, here's this game, it's $80. Okay, you're going to piss people off, but at least I don't feel like you're trying to fucking gouge me.
Yeah, because if they release a game that's $80 but it has all the game in it, I'd probably be a bit happier about that than here's most of a game for regular game price, and you got to spend all this extra money for content we may or not release after some. Because the whole thing is the original season pass announcement said it's $40 for a season pass, and you're guaranteed to get content from when the game is launched for the next 6 months, and that's how the original statement was.
Yeah, but once again they didn't tell you. My problem is always, as always, with this stuff is feeling like I'm being nickeled and dimed to death after dropping a lot of money on your shit. Hey, Earl Stoke, how you doing? Thanks for joining us in chat.
Yeah, I wish season pass lasts longer than most of them do.
Yeah, that's some shiesty shit too. When they go, oh yeah, here's a season pass.
For 6 months.
Length is going to be determined from an individual publisher and may or may not include everything that's coming in here. In addition, there might be content released later at a later date that you don't get covered for.
That was one of the things that actually made me pissed about Borderlands 2, if we want to go back to that.
Oh, yeah.
Season pass for that game, and then, oh, by the way, here's all this extra shit that you need to pay money for, because none of that's covered in the season pass.
Yeah, no, it's don't... Ugh, I hate that
like,
shit.
If you're going to make a season pass type thing, it's like, this is the money that you're spending to unlock all the DLC that they're going to release, then let me unlock all the DLC.
Or be upfront with that and say, we might release stuff after this season. Like, it's very disingenuous. Like, they're not... They're lying by omission.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're going to do a season pass, do it where it's like, all right, you can pay $20 for a season pass in the last 6 months, but you can re-up it, and you get everything released in that time period that you have that season pass. Like an actual membership.
That can make it retroactive.
Yeah. Be like, okay, so it lasted 6 months, you can re-up your season pass to get another $20, and get everything released in that 6 months. Like everything, though.
There's a problem with AAA development, and they keep trying to find ways to make money off of it. And unfortunately, all the ways they keep trying, in my opinion, is just driving people away from it.
Yeah.
And I think they know that. I think they see the writing on the wall, and now they're just trying to milk out every dollar they can before they themselves collapse and smaller publishers like Devolver Digital pick up the pieces. And we'll be having the same conversation 10 years from now about how we all hate Devolver Digital because they buy up small little companies and bleed them dry.
Yeah.
and then close them after a month
then
when they
close
release one game after 3 months of development and it doesn't sell well.
Yeah, exactly.
The saddest
yeah.
part of this whole thing for me is that I actually really want that Batman game.
Looks good.
Like, I'm excited about a new Rocksteady Batman game.
So am I.
I think it's going to be awesome. And there's the whole fact that the Batgirl stuff that they're talking about, that's the first time you can play as Batgirl in a game that I'm aware of.
Yeah, sort of like the Lego Batman stuff. I think you're
Yeah,
right.
but I mean, like, in an actual story-based, action-based
like something that we care
Batman
about.
game. Yeah.
No, that could
And
very much be true.
it's just shitty that it's surrounded with all this other stuff. I mean, it's the same kind of argument that I had with Mortal Kombat a couple weeks ago. Like, I mean, I was excited for that game, but it was just surrounded with so much bullshit. Funnily enough, it's the exact same company that, you know, I ended up just not getting it.
Yeah, Warner Brothers
And
is,
not too worried about
is one of the bigger offenders when it comes to this DLC bullshit. I'll buy the game. The game itself has not. They have not turned me off to the game itself. I am not buying a single bit of DLC, and that's just always been my MO.
I'll wait for 2 or 3 years for it to be like 99 cents on Steam.
We're going to go ahead and move on to something a little bit happier now because, honestly, I am tired of complaining about DLC, yet they keep doing it. Halo 5 Guardians cover art has been revealed. Yeah, I know you don't care, David, but Sean and I think, are pretty excited about Guardians. Every time something new comes out, I get more and more hyped up for this game.
Dude, this Halo game, pretty hype. This is the most hype I've been about a Halo game since Halo 2 before it came out.
Fair enough. They released a little 30-second teaser trailer. Apparently, the efforts of the Hunt for Truth alternate reality game unlocked this, and when everyone got the clues to do it, they popped this little teaser trailer here. That's going to show the cover. They said the cover art. I don't know if this is going to be on the cover for the game, if it's going to wrap around or what. I think it would be cool if it wraps around. Let me go ahead and stop the video here and bring up the full picture here. What I would like to see is like the right side of the cover with Master Chief's head there, and then it kind of just wraps around, and the back of the cover would be locked there.
Yeah, that'd be
See what you're saying?
But of important note is if you look at this, you see 2 Spartan teams down below them. And that kind of intrigues me because it goes beyond the whole Locke versus a Master Chief theme.
It's group versus group.
Yeah, and if that carries over to the single player, that would be fucking awesome because I want to see some Spartan Civil War shit going down.
Yeah.
David, I know you don't care.
Oh, you know, I actually have one minor thing to contribute with your whole cover idea.
Yeah.
I actually just want a reversible cover, so I like that better.
I like reversible covers. Those are cool.
Also, this thing in the middle of the screen that looks like some kind of rock angel.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. That looks
Rock
like
lobster?
some Japanese anime mecha thing. I have no idea what that is.
I don't either.
And
The Guardian.
That's something I don't think anyone's been touching on.
Subtitle says Guardians right there. It's a Guardian.
Is this Paris we're looking at? It looks like there's the Eiffel Tower maybe back there.
That's just like, nah, I don't think so.
Or that could be like that Forerunner ship from like the second and third one that was on Earth.
Possibly. I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm kind of curious what that big ugly ass thing back there is. I haven't played through 4, so that could be something from 4.
Those are ghosts, though. Those ships in the Banshees. Excuse me.
No,
those ships in the
those are
background.
Covenant Banshees, but that looks like human architecture.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely on Earth, but
It could be anything. It could be a boat.
It could be. It could even be a boat.
Yeah. This one's all about naval combat. Didn't you guys read?
J.S. Williams says that looks like an elite. Maybe its head.
I
Kind
disagree.
of. Yeah. Do you know what it looks like? It looks like an outsider from XCOM.
Wrong franchise, bro.
So you think.
oh,
XCOM could be the prequel to Halo for all you know.
Damn
Confirmed.
it, because then I would have to start paying attention.
Halo 3 confirmed.
I fully
That's messed
expect a
up.
new XCOM to be announced at E3. I'll be very disappointed if it doesn't. Now, for every good thing Halo has been doing recently, there seems to be a bad thing, and we're going to talk about the Master Chief Collection and how it's still fucking broke. Like, it's ridiculous now. What do you guys know about the Master Chief Collection's issues?
Hey, man, if it broke, don't fix it.
Besides the fact that isn't it like glitchy and no one can play it, really?
The online
It's-
matchmaking's a joke. It doesn't
It's been
work.
out for like
like-
6 months.
Like
Yeah,
you
it's been
can't
over for
play it,
6 months.
right?
Exactly. Not only has it been out for over 6 months, but it's based on games that stretch back over 10 years.
Yeah.
How
I
bad
don't
could you
know.
have fucked this up?
Motherfucker, we played Halo 1 on GameSpy using a client to the internet, somehow with Xboxes before Xbox Live was a thing.
And
How
with-
can you not get this to work?
That's a pretty damn good point. They have, what, 4 or 5 games worth of net code that they can work with, and they just didn't
and
bring
none of
any
it
of
works. I have no idea what the fuck the problem is. The fact that it's still going is a joke. The fact that it's a first-party game is even more egregious. This isn't like some shitty third-party developer that has no idea what they're doing. This is Microsoft unable to solve their own shit.
It's got to be like
just change
Bungie
it and run it off.
Sean, you first.
Bungie probably had to put in like a hidden code that just like fucked everything up before they left, and so like when they left and Microsoft tried to like fix the game or put it on the internet, it was like the fat dude from Jurassic Park going
I was thinking more like the Da Vinci virus, where it's that Leonardo da Vinci going row
row your boat.
David, you were about to say.
Well, I think they should just recode it and just have the thing run off the Halo 2 servers. Just like open those back up and just like change the game that's running on them.
You know, that sounds like a joke, but shit, at this point I'll do anything to get it working. And so would the people who signed up for the ESL Halo Championship Series, because according to their official Twitter, we are aware investigating party joinability issues. As a result, we will be canceling the HCS Cup #1 and apologize for this inconvenience. The official Halo Championship Series went, yeah, we can't get this to work, so we're having to cancel it.
Wait. So you're telling me that their code is so bad they can't even run like a LAN championship?
No. So to be fair, this was the online games. The LAN tournament with the 47 major teams actually was played.
Okay.
So like the pro players actually go to LAN tournaments.
This was Cup #1. It wasn't the whole HCS.
And it was their online series, not their actual LAN event series.
Okay. That part's important. So it's an online series.
Yes.
Their online
Yes.
sucked, so they couldn't do the online series, but the
Correct.
actual in-building LAN games were still played.
Because the ELS championship for LAN happened end of February, beginning of March, and that's when like the actual big name pros like the Ogre twins and everyone, well, the Ogre that's still left and whatnot still play.
Did he eat the other one?
No, one of them retired.
By retired, do you mean he ate him?
Sure.
Nailed it.
It
funny.
The point is, when you can't even run your official tournament backed by Microsoft themselves, it's a joke. And that sums up 2014 more than anything else. That was the year when nothing fucking worked.
That's probably why MLG stopped fucking using Halo too.
It could be. I don't know about that, but I mean it's possible. But I don't know about that. I mean, I just don't even have the information on it.
We're just in an age where games are going to do things that piss off players, and if games aren't doing it, then game companies are going to do it.
It's also we live in that age, going back to the DLC thing, where a game company just go, fuck it, ship it out. We have to hit the release date. We have to every year. This must be on November. Who fucking cares if it works or not? Pump it out. Look at Assassin's Creed Unity, for God's sake.
It can't. It won't run.
Yeah, I would if I could.
I can't. I have to pay to open chests.
And then you have, the Western development side is all fucked up with problems like that. And then you take a look at like the Japanese development side, and it's just full of companies who are doing weird ass backwards things.
They have a total different issue.
Yeah,
so it's not that they're just nickel and diming everybody. It's that they're treating their own employees like shit.
Their talent's disappearing. And a recent casualty of that was, of course, Silent Hills with the Kojima fiasco. They pulled PT, and if you want to play PT now, well, if you don't have it, you can go on eBay, because God forbid someone try not to make a buck off of this. PS4 consoles that had PT actually built into it are going anywhere from $450 on eBay to $1,500 with a $2,500 buy it now.
That's amazing. That guy's an idiot and a genius.
Now, as you can see, there are no bids on any of these. No one is putting any money on them. However, these are also a couple days old after the craze died down. I'm very curious to see if someone sunk money into one.
Give it a couple months.
Give it a couple months, wait for the collectability to go up.
Yeah, I really want to play PT. I really need PT. I need a PlayStation that has PT on it.
Well, you know who's got a PlayStation with PT on it?
I do.
Yo.
Yeah, if you want to, I'll sell mine right now for, let's say that's $450. Yeah, I'll buy it. I'll put it on a buy it now for $500 for anyone who wants to see it.
Yeah, me too. I'll make that $80 profit.
Then you got to get a whole other PlayStation. You're gonna lose all your saves. It sounds like a pain in the ass. I don't think either of you guys are gonna pull the trigger on that.
It does sound like a pain in the ass. Now that I think about it.
I only got one game saved on mine, bitch.
Wasn't thought through. So yeah, and this is just for a goddamn demo. Now,
but
I'm not going to say people won't spend money on demos, because they clearly do, especially with, like, I mean, we can go back to the Zone of the Enders and how everyone bought that from Metal Gear Solid 2. We can go to, that guy there. What came out recently that had a demo attached to it that people literally bought for?
that was the Final Fantasy 15 demo that came with
Type
Zero or whatever.
People literally bought Type 0 and didn't play that, but played the 15 demo. Square has multiple stats on that, showing that they might have put in like 5 minutes on Type 0 and then sunk hours on the Final Fantasy 15 demo.
Dino Crisis for Resident Evil 3.
Ah, yes. All Japanese companies, if you're not sensing a theme here.
Crackdown. Thanks, Earl.
Oh, didn't Crackdown 2 have the Halo 2 demo in there? Or it was the Halo 2 beta. Or
Whatever.
something.
It
was something.
Something Halo.
So, how much would you pay for a demo of a game that was really anticipated? Like, let's
Demos
say
are
you
free.
get the first 4 hours for free.
$10. $5.
David?
Will you drive it to my house?
No.
Probably not.
All right.
I don't care.
We're also we are seeing. I don't want to go ahead and blame that this is a complete Japanese company issue. EA has done a backwards version of this with their EA Access crap, also known as that place where they dump all their sports games. You know, that subscription service you sign up for, and it's like $60 for a year, and you get to play all their EA Vault games, which is nothing but sports games for the most part. But they did it with Dragon Age Dragon Age Inquisition and Battlefield Hardline, to where you got to play it that weekend for up to like 6 hours before it cut you off, like the weekend before it came out.
They got NFL Blitz?
No, that's a good game. They wouldn't have that on there.
All right, just checking. I'll go
Was
find
that
it on
EA?
PlayStation.
I don't know who has EA. Crackdown is Microsoft.
No, I'm talking about NFL Blitz.
NFL Blitz is.
It should have been EA.
Was it EA?
I
I'm
want to
fairly
say.
positive.
I want to say it's 2K, honestly, but the point is, the reason why you don't see NFL Blitz anymore is because EA bought the NFL franchise. Like, they didn't buy the franchise. They locked the rights to make NFL games down, I think, until 2020. So that's why you don't see any of that stuff anymore.
NFL Blitz was developed by Midway.
Midway does not think exist as a company anymore. They might have been bought up by. I don't know who owns the Midway properties.
Probably EA.
I'm gonna go with EA because EA
I'm willing to go with
released
it.
the most recent NFL Blitz.
Or Nordic Games, since they're buying up all the dead franchises everywhere.
Yeah, there you go.
After Midway's bankruptcy in 2009, EA Sports bought all the Madden stuff, which means they hold the rights to NFL Blitz.
Was NFL Blitz part of Madden?
It's part of the NFL franchises.
The EA bought the license to make NFL games, but for example, EA doesn't own the rights to NFL 2K. That's 2K Games that owns those rights still. They still own
EA
the name
released
2K
an
Games.
NFL Blitz game in 2011. I'm going there.
And who released that last one?
EA.
EA. Okay, then they do own that one.
All right, I'm gonna say that 8 more times, and then we're gonna talk about something else.
Actually, we're going to talk about something else right now. We're going to talk about D4. Have any of you guys heard of this game?
Is that like
Briefly.
D3? Is that a
No.
deception game?
No, it's not a deception game. However, there was a new deception game either coming out or is about to come out. D4 is made by a guy known as Swery65. His real name's Hidetaka Shuhiro. He's the same guy that did Deadly Premonition.
Oh, I've actually heard of that.
Deadly Premonition, of course, being the Xbox game, also later ported to PC. That was kind of like Twin Peaks, but really, really buggy, really glitchy. But a lot of people loved it.
Yeah, I remember that game.
He essentially came out and said the previous exclusive Xbox One D4 will be released on PCs as well in this twit, in which he also thanks Obama.
Sorry, I have a D4 one. Dino Crisis 4 in the hood.
So D4, if you like, I tried finding a trailer for it, but they were all like pad developer commentary on there, so you don't get that. Instead, you get his tweet where someone asked it's going to PC and it says, yes, D4 will be released for PC, #thanks Obama.
All right.
I don't know where a Japanese developer gets the #thanks Obama from, but you know what? That's like some Hideo Kojima shit right there.
I'm gonna go with they got it from Twitter.
Yep.
Throwing that out.
Thank you, Dave.
Trending.
So yeah, D4 coming to PCs. I liked Deadly Premonition. I'll be into it. It sounds like neither of you guys played it. And don't feel bad. Most people didn't.
I watched the 20-minute thing on the game for D4.
I'm just
What
upset it's not a
20-minute
Deception
thing?
game.
The talking about the game, and it had some gameplay in it. It was like a dude playing the game.
It's very cell shaded. It actually reminds me of Killer 7 in the way it looks.
Yeah, any kind of such a game. It looks like Borderlands, whatever.
Moving on to the next topic, guys, we're just going to crank through a couple of these. Have you guys heard of Hatred?
I have now.
Yes, I know.
It's that
Yeah,
feeling
I
you
know
get
what
when you get cut off on the road.
Yeah.
For those who might not know, Hatred was a game that came out on Steam Greenlight. Drew a lot of criticism. People got pissed off, wrote in this letter writing campaign saying, how dare you put this on here? It's sexist, misogynist, all the other politically correct buzzwords that you hear get tossed around, designed to censor
All
things.
the best ists.
Yes, it's all the ists and isms. And Steam pulled it. And of course, following the Streisand effect, anytime you protest something or make a big deal of something, it gets that many more eyes on it. And so many eyes went on it that Gabe Newell himself came out and said, hey, I'm sorry. This game should not have been pulled. We believe essentially in free speech here. You can put whatever you want onto as long as it follows our guidelines. And Hatred got put back on the Steam release page. Well, it
Thanks,
has...
Cartman.
What was that?
I said thanks, Cartman.
Exactly.
For teaching us a valuable lesson.
And it has a release date of June 1st. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up isn't so much that I'm interested in Hatred or anything at all. Let me go ahead and bring up the Steam Store page. The interesting part about this whole thing is this little thing down here. Notice its rating.
Yeah, adults only.
That's the one you're not supposed to have. That's
It's
the one that gets kids in trouble.
But it's the only time I can think of on Steam that adults only game has been allowed to be sold.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a game that's getting an AO rating for violence, blood and gore, and language.
Yes.
And the last game that I remember, that I can think of at the top of my head, that got an AO for those things and not just graphic sex, is Thrill Kill. That game that was never released on PlayStation.
I know someone who actually has an original full copy, has a copy of that game, like a prototype version.
Like that, and then Manhunt before they altered it, are the games that I can think of that had AO ratings just based on violence.
But those were altered. They were never really released in their AO state. This is getting released as an AO game, which begs the question, are we ready for AO games as a consuming public? Has that stigma finally gone away?
I've seen that Reddit porn. I'm ready for anything. Reddit has made me ready for anything.
I think it depends on what it's coming from and where it's going. Because as it is, this is a game being released on Steam, right? On Steam Greenlight.
Like Walmart would never carry it. Target would never carry it.
Yeah, it's not going to be released in stores. It's not going to be on any console. Like a game hitting Steam has slightly less chance of little Timmy pulling it up and finding it than something on Xbox or Nintendo.
Fair enough. How about this question then? Do we start allowing Japanese adult visual novels on Steam? I know we've been having them released on Steam a lot with the hentai stuff cut out, the sexual content cut out. If they're willing to let one AO game go through, should we let them all go through?
Where's the line? Who decides? You decide, America.
Who watches The Watchmen?
It's a valid question. I'm actually asking this question.
Do you legit know I don't give a fuck? You release whatever you want on the internet.
But should Steam have its name attached to it? Should it be sold on the Steam marketplace?
If they want it to.
Steam is allowed to.
Yeah, if they want to do it, then do it, homie.
Marketplace, just like any other store is allowed to control what they sell. If they don't want to start releasing a bunch of sex games on Steam, then they don't have to.
That's I was going to say. Here's the bigger point. Where's the line that in the where's the line in that case drawn? Then is it AO games or is it only AO games with sexual content?
Well, per what's happening right this second, I'm leaning towards AO games with sexual content.
All right,
because they're releasing an AO game. So, ipso facto, Columbo, your face. Probably that one.
Okay. I just found it very interesting. I mean, I am all for fucking open the floodgates, let everything out. I want to be able to play Kirby's Dream Sunshine right next to Innocent Scroll Girls in Trouble.
Backdoor Slut's not in the game.
Backdoor Slut's not in the game.
I want to have access to it all. I might not say play it, but I want access to it all. I take umbrage of people
You want to
saying
make sure
I
that you
can't.
accidentally pick up a bunch of weird porn games during the next Steam sale. It's like, oh, this is
Yes.
a bundle pack. All right. What game is this? I'm gonna load it up for a couple minutes. I should probably close the blinds.
Steven would definitely have the Nail and Palin game.
Didn't even know there was a game for that. I know there's a movie.
I don't know there's a game, but there will be.
There is. That's the number one internet law is there is.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Well, yeah.
It's not even like there is porn of it. There just is.
Yep.
Everything exists. You are not original. It's been created already. But yeah, I just found it very interesting that Steam is technically releasing an AO game, and as far as I can tell, this is the first time it's actually happened.
I'm wondering what kind of quality control they put into it, like how much of the game they've watched, how much they've seen, if they know exactly what's causing the rating to be how bad it is, if the developer is going to sneak in some other crazy shit considering they have the rating that lets them do pretty much whatever the fuck they want.
Well, not only that, but the ESRB itself, the way they rate shit's kind of wishy-washy because they have, like, let's say you have 50 people who review it. What one person sees in the 30-second or the 30-minute demo they're sent, they might rate teen. But what Bob down the hall sees, it goes, no, this is M. And that shit runs rampant. That's why you see games that are teen, and you're like, wait a minute, how did this get by? But this gets slapped with an M rating.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's a totally imperfect rule. Disease 40, it's rule 34, I believe, for the there
He
is
would
porn
know.
of it. There's also, I think, like rule 68, which is there's always a gender-swapped character. So, for example, for every Link, someone has drawn a female Link. And for every Princess Peach, there is a male Prince Peach. Internet rules are funny.
Giant
So I'm going to look them up.
David, next topic is one that you're actually interested in. We're going to talk about Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, KJ and Ifune here to save the day.
Break down
Fuck
what
you,
Mighty
Capcom.
Number 9 is.
Mega Man.
Well, let's preface this with Capcom's a bunch of dumb bitches.
As most Japanese development studios seem to be these days.
So
Or
we were
publishers, I should
talking
say,
earlier
not
about
dev
how
studios.
Kojima kind of got done dirty by
Done dirty hard.
Konami and all that stuff that happened, where Capcom did that to Inafune a while ago, and they did it a bit dirtier because they not only kind of shunned him from the company, they then started kind of shitting all over his old franchises and using box art he didn't like. And I remember that there was this whole point in time where they were, what was it? They wanted a Mega Man character to be released in some format for some other game, and they used like the shittiest possible Mega Man.
They
Street
used
Fighter?
the original American box art Mega Man from the
Street
original
Fighter.
Mega game.
That's what it was. Is they put like this janky ass American version of Mega Man in Street Fighter.
The
and
one
you
where
just
he
look
doesn't have a
atrocious.
Mega Buster, he's got like a gun in his hand.
Yeah, and it's just complete garbage.
That's also on the
So-
cover of Mega Man 10, I believe.
Since he'd been stuck at the company for a while and was not able to do anything he wanted to, he decided to say, fuck you, I'm going to go make my own company with blackjack and hookers and make Mighty Number 9, which is a spiritual successor to Mega Man.
Earth
not a
in
Mega
chat
Man
says
game.
that was Namco Cross Capcom.
Thanks, Earl. Anyway, so it's not a Mega Man game, but it's very much a Mega Man game because it's made by the guy that made those. So
It is Mega Man in all but name.
it's like a new Mega Man X.
It's Mega Lad.
Yes, sure. But if you've watched any of the videos on it, it's got this kind of stylized 3D art as opposed to the 2D of the old side-scrolling Mega Man games, but it still has the side-scrolling kind of mechanics. The boss fight stuff looks kind of similar, but the gameplay looks solid. It looks tons of fun. It's got regular Mega Man-style giant monsters, power-ups, all that other fun stuff. And it sounds cool to have a new Mega Man in 2015.
Well, some news came about that. They actually have a release date, as you can see from the ticker down below here. Here is the Kickstarter for the page. I love that it's being created by Concept USA, by the way, instead of Capcom. That has to be a dig at them. But they have a release date coming out in September, on September 15th in the US and September 18th in Europe and the rest of the world. It's going to be $20 for the digital game. Retail edition includes DLC and extras for $30 wherever you buy it. Don't know what systems it's going to be on. However, it's going to be published by our friends at Deep Silver. And Deep Silver is quickly becoming one of those publishers that I enjoy, like CD Projekt Red and Devolver Digital, because they seem to understand gamers.
Oh, yeah. The other thing I like about this game for no reason to mention is that his sister, or like basically the chick
Roll.
assistant, was actually built by fans. Like they actually had a bunch of different art they released that's potential concept art for the customer, and they had this big vote through all their Kickstarters to figure out how they wanted the character to
I
look.
remember that, and there's a bit of controversy surrounding that. That ties into a much bigger controversy surrounding games right now that I don't want to dip my toe in, but apparently involves some forum moderators maybe manipulating things and then banning people for saying things they didn't like despite not being paid.
That's just the internet.
Yeah, internet drama is internet-y.
That's how a baseball team ended up with "Never Gonna Give You Up" as their official theme song. Don't worry about it.
What? I want to know about this story.
You don't remember that? That was from a few years ago when I don't remember which. I don't watch baseball. Let's say the Mets or someone who no one gives a shit about. I don't care. Had this contest to pick their new home theme. So when they're playing at home, they would have the theme that plays when they're walking on the field, and they opened it to an internet vote. So they had all the fans voting, and then like Reddit or 4chan or one of those forums saw it, and they're like, "Well, time to rickroll the fuck out of a baseball team." So they spammed it with Rick Astley's "Never Gonna Give You Up," which won by a landslide, and they came out to their first game. I believe it actually happened. They came out to a game with that song.
Did anyone know that was going to be before they came out to it? Because that'd be great if they kept that shit hidden.
They had to have. It had to have been like, let's just do it, man. Fuck it. Let's own it.
See, here's where I am out of touch with the mainstream. I love 80s music, and I legitimately enjoy that song non-ironically.
That's a terrible song.
Hey, 80s, man.
Oh, I called it. It was totally the Mets.
Even for the 80s.
Was it the Mets?
It was totally the
It's
Mets.
the fucking Mets.
Nice. Makes sense. Going to jump topic randomly again because that's what we do at the end of the show here. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 at least coming.
That game is so whack.
Five Nights at Freddy, of course, being the jump scare simulator that has made its creator a shit ton of money. So much, in fact, that not only is he able to sell the film rights to a studio, but he was able to donate $250,000 to a charity from some dude who was... I actually like the story. Let me go ahead and give it a little slow down here real quick. There was a guy who was streaming Five Nights at Freddy's, and his goal was to get $10,000 for charity. And he had a couple donations. I think there was a couple $500 donations. And he was going along. He made like $2 or $3 grand. Awesome. And then the creator jumps into the stream and goes, "Yeah, here's $250,000 for your $10,000 charity."
Mic drop. I'm
Just
out.
walked into a random stream and went, "Here you go," and it was like for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
But anyways, Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is coming. The final chapter, October 31st, 2015. David, you want to say?
1 second. Didn't the first one come out like a year ago?
Yes.
So it did.
The first game came out August 2014. That means here. How's this for a fucking kick in the nuts? The same week that Silent Hills gets canceled, the fourth installment of Five Nights at Freddy in a year is announced.
Fuck.
That's ridiculous. He's made 4 of these games in a year,
and they're all super successful. Because it's great stream bait.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because it's all jump scares. So you go on there and you see people going, "Ah," like that's and freaking out.
It's probably pretty simple because he's probably just changing like textures and maybe sound.
They
and
all
stuff.
look the same. They each have like different mechanical things that are different with them, but they all look the same. Apparently, there's like some really dark story about like a pedophile murdering children, and the animatronics are like possessed by the spirits of dead kids or some shit.
That's messed up.
If you get like way deep into the lore and unlock the mini games, apparently that's why these things are trying to murder you. They're possessed by murdered children from someone who used to work at Chuck E. Cheese.
That's messed. I thought they were just crazy psycho animatronic bears and bunnies that thought you were a bear or bunny out of your costume. So
that's what the public believes. Yes. Years. But apparently, the true story is they are possessed by the murdered spirit, the spirits of murdered children killed by a child molester who worked at Freddy's Fazbear Pizza, whatever it's called.
It's
super fucking dark. Phoenix 100K in chat is actually confirming that as well. He's backing that up.
Boom. Internet confirmed, bitch.
Internet confirmed.
Crazy.
That's as good as being in Webster's dictionary.
All right.
Another random topic, because last week is full of just a bunch of random one-off stories. Who remembers the OUYA?
Yo.
Yeah.
Or
go ahead.
A little cute.
What I like to call the emulator that can.
The little console that can't is more like it.
Nah,
But
dude, it's a great emulator.
It must be made by Nintendo.
here's the problem. Here's a picture of the UL right here. Here's the problem. Here is a little device that's designed to play essentially Android. It was an Android iOS, right?
Yes.
It was an iOS.
OS.
It was an
There you
Android
go, yeah.
OS.
Android
Here's the
iOS
problem.
would be Skynet.
Here's the problem. We already have that in most of our phones
Or computers.
or computers or whatever. Why do I want to buy a console when I already have access to all that?
Then why was their Kickstarter so damn successful?
Because people will fucking kickstart anything.
There was an amount of people that liked the concepts that they had.
Well, not enough, because a report from Future...
Problem they had was when it was actually time to deliver, they fucked up. Because there was a bunch of people that didn't get their kits when they were supposed to. There's people that didn't get second controllers. But from what I understand, it did what it was going to. It ran little Android games. They just didn't get enough people to make Android games.
Long story short, the company's fucked. In a report from Fortune.com, to quote them, it says, quote, gaming company OUYA is on the auction block after tripping a debt covenant, according to according to a confidential email sent out earlier this month from CEO Julie Ehrman to company investors and advisors. In other words, they're fucking fucked. They have too much debt, no income coming in, and they can't even find a buyer, from what I understand.
Damn.
It's going to go to the lowest bidder.
If these things get super cheap, I will let you know that they're really sweet emulator boxes. Because since it's on Android, you can run Nintendo games, Genesis games, Super Nintendo games, all kinds of shit from this little box, and it works pretty damn well.
How much are they running for right now? If anyone chat knows,
At release, they were $100.
At release, they're $100. Chat, if any of you guys know, please let us know how much they're running for right now. If they're pretty sweet emulator boxes, I might pick one up when the company goes belly under.
I think right now they're still $100, is what I'd imagine.
Possibly.
I don't know why they do any price drops yet, but it's possible that when all this stuff goes down, that they're going to try and just sell them like crazy. And so I'm thinking, if these things get cheap enough, why not pick it up? Make sure you grab an extra controller.
Tasty waffles.
I think that's also another one of the dangers of Kickstarter, though, not from the consumer end, but from the company standpoint. You start this Kickstarter, you immediately get all this cash reserves from the people who want the actual product, the hardcore fans. But if it's something that the mass market doesn't want, you spent all of your money on making it to hand it out, and then you have nothing else coming in because you can't sell it to normal people.
Yeah.
For example, we're going to go ahead and move on to a Rare's new game coming up here soon, which is being kickstarted. But, for example, a Kickstarter project might get 40,000 people buying it, and it's considered a success on Kickstarter, right? Which I believe Rare's new project Yooka-Laylee did. And I'll get into them in a second. But 40,000 sales is nothing. It's shit. For look at EA when they're talking about Dead Space 3 needing 5 million to sell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great for these one-off projects such as Yooka-Laylee, which is a game coming out from... Let me go ahead and bring up the Kickstarter page from here. From Playtonic Games. This is created by a bunch of people who worked on the old Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong Country. They got together and kickstarted Yooka-Laylee. 42,000 backers as time of right now, with a just shy of £1.5 million goal of a £175,000 goal. So almost
They were
10
funded
times.
Instantly.
Yes, they were funded in 40 minutes, which is the fastest any game has ever been funded on Kickstarter, from what I can tell.
Also, I'm probably gonna want this. Just so you guys know.
Yooka-Laylee, of course, like what Phoenix 100K in chat saying, is a successor to Banjo-Kazooie. Thus, the similar name, similar playstyle, where you have the two characters, one called Yooka, the other called Laylee. It looks like a chameleon and a bat here. Let me go ahead and scroll. In fact, even the title looks like Banjo-Kazooie for the most part. Yeah, let's resurrect the buddy duo platformer.
I get it.
I get it.
Buddy duos. Like
Erect.
Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Dexter.
New directions.
Nude directions.
Erections.
But yeah, this thing got kickstarted pretty goddamn fast, which to me shows that there is demand for a 3D platformer still, the golden years, like back in the Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1 era.
Just like there was demand for an Android-based home console that you can play with your
Yes,
friends.
but the difference here is once they sell their games, they can move on to another project. OUYA kept trying to sell OUYA as well after the initial installment base went under.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's like being Tim Schafer.
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
Just to keep referencing the fact that Kickstarter is not always the nicest thing in the world. I'm excited about this a lot because I'm actually a big platformer nerd from my console days, and
Nerd.
Banjo Kazooie, those are sweet games. So
Yeah.
this is really cool to me. The art style's awesome.
I'm
But,
going to go back to the Kickstarter page here real quick because I want to take a look at something to point out to you guys. I always like looking at the Kickstarter rewards. For example, Super Troopers 2, when that got kickstarted, their high-end stupid reward was we will show up as groomsmen to your wedding. But
that's awesome.
another one was we'll father your child. There will actually be semen don't. You get to pick one of them, and there will be a sperm donor for an in vitro fertilization.
That's money.
But something that I saw in here that was actually really cool. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Where is it? Going on.
My favorite Kickstart pledge
Here it is.
it
Go ahead,
wasn't
Sean.
Kickstart, was still if you buy Josh Freese's album, you can drive around in Danny Carey's limo or Lamborghini from Tool while doing mushrooms and playing Miniature Golf with Maynard. That was like
that's
the
awesome.
coolest one of all time.
So this is one of the cooler Kickstarter pledges I've seen right now. If you pledge 340 pounds, about $500 US, you get the 64-bit edition. Essentially, they make you a working Nintendo 64 cartridge with the game built into it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What?
So you
That's
can play
so
it on the Nintendo 64. If I'm reading that right. I could be totally misreading that. And that is by... Let me go ahead and pull that up again. No, god damn it. Oh, well. It's going to
They
take
actually
it back. I don't
typed
care.
in the nth degree.
That is
Well,
fucking awesome.
It says it's a N64 cartridge with a flash drive in it, though.
64, yeah, 64 flat. Maybe, it could be a plug-in computer.
Maybe
I
just
don't
you
know.
plug it in with USB and it's a USB game.
I just have it's $500 though. Something's not. I don't know. I'll have to do some more research on it. That'd be great if it was a 64 cartridge though that actually ran off a Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of does it for the news this week. We're going to move on to some new releases real fast before we get into the esports shenaniganery. This week, aka today, you want kind of a slow week. You have Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker on the 3DS, another Mega 10 game for those who like the extremely hard JRPGs. You also have Wolfenstein The Old Blood on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This is the quote-unquote standalone expansion to Wolfenstein The New Order, taking place back before he went into the 60s.
You're talking about the fact that that game looks dope.
Dude, the new Wolfenstein is fucking tits. I love that game.
Like, this game looks phenomenal.
Get to shoot Nazis.
Well, yeah, that's like one of my favorite things, but it also it looks really
It
good.
looks good, and it's standalone. So if you don't, from what I understand, it's standalone. Don't quote me on that. Meaning
Jones.
that if you don't have the New Order, you can play this on its own. Now,
Dude, the intro to the old one where you're like in the train car and you get called over by that chick was super captivating and just it's great.
You're talking about that scene when Frau Engel or whatever her name was, like, had the gun and she was doing the racial parody test to you.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yeah.
In Wolfenstein, The Old Blood, there is a part where you will run into two Nazis having a conversation with each other, and one of them starts correcting the other on his grammar. A literal grammar Nazi.
That's phenomenal.
But yeah, if I had to pick between the two, I'd say go with The Old Blood. As much as I love a Mega 10 game, The Old Blood looks phenomenal for as cheap as it's running. That's going to go ahead and move us to esports. Sean, why don't you go ahead and break down? Let's start us off with what happened last weekend between G Tigers and SKT.
So, the LCK finals happened last week, as Steven mentioned, between G Tigers and SKT. A lot of people thought this game was going to go, the series was going to go the distance, the best of 5. It did not. SKT, spoiler alert, won in 3 games. They 3-0'd them. And it wasn't a close 3-0. Like, they murdered them 3-0. Now, here's the twist. So, Faker's on SKT, right? You're like, okay, Faker must have played and dominated. Nah, Faker didn't even play any of these games. It was Easy Hoon, his backup. So you're like, all right, maybe like, Bangi, their jungler, their world champion jungler carried. Nah, he didn't play either. Their backup Tom played. So it was not even SKT's starting lineup that 3-0'd the finals of Korea. It was Easy Hoon and Tom in the jungle and mid lane with the starting bot lane and starting top lane. 3-0'd the second best team. Once the best team of the world.
I'm gonna go with they're not the second best team.
Not
Because,
anymore.
The match from a week ago.
So what you're
was
saying
better.
was I was going to say what you're saying was the real finals happened during the semis.
Correct. CJ Intis is undoubtedly the second best team in Korea right now.
Now I don't recall, what was your prediction for this fight? You said it was going to go to 5.
I believe I said 3-1. I was SKT.
Okay.
No, yeah, he definitely called that it was going to be a shorter series.
Yeah, I knew because GE Tigers in this meta just doesn't really play. Their style's kind of fading out, and their weaknesses are getting exploited. They're really weak laners, and they have a really bad early game. And with the new tank meta, you can't really do that because the other team just spirals out of control and hyper carries the game, just with enough tanks. Like you just can't kill them. So SKT and CJ Entis pretty much pioneered the way you play this game in this meta. So these two teams are really strong right now. It sucks that we're not going to see CJ Entis play internationally until at least Worlds if they make it, which it looks like they will.
I'd like to welcome to the chat, by the way, Princess Christy. Thanks for dropping in again. Remember you from, I don't think last week, but the week before. She says she loves the short series.
Hell yeah.
What is America? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you.
but
I
yeah.
just wanted to address the chat.
Oh, no, you're good. But yeah, SKT definitely won that without playing Faker and their starting jungler Bangi. And they're going to MSI, which happens this week, starts Thursday. For those of you who don't know what MSI is
Like
the
me.
mid-season international. It is the first time that Riot is throwing an international tournament that is not an All-Stars match and halfway through splits. So between the summer split, or the spring split and the summer split, this is kind of like their new tournament to give you kind of, so you can see international teams play more than just once a year at Worlds. So you get to see the best teams from each region play each other halfway through as well.
So we got people from 6 different regions coming in.
Correct.
Taiwan?
So-
Who's coming in from Taiwan?
So Southeast Asia's region, Taiwan, AHQ. Some of you, if you paid attention to Worlds last year, would know who this team is. They're the second seed from Taiwan to qualify for Worlds last year. Did not win a single match. They were in the group of death with Samsung White and EDG. So they got just dumpstered on in that tournament. Didn't get to see a lot of them. The only familiar name you might know from this team is Westdoor. He's their top laner. If any game's going to go their way, he's going to have a big part of it.
Okay.
We got the international wild card
is from Turkey, I believe.
Yeah. So the international wild card. So Turkey, Brazil, Mexico, Laos, a few other countries.
A bunch of the smaller regions that don't have a massive draw, kind of all thrown in here. Now, I absolutely love this name.
Yeah,
dude, it's just classy.
Yeah, the Biscottis Esports Club. I don't know if I said that right.
That sounds like some '90s band.
So they actually sponsor major soccer teams. So it's nice to see these major corporations and major like team owners kind of getting into the esports worlds, even if it is in Turkey or anything like that. Because you put money into something, it's going to get bigger.
No, agreed.
I don't know anything about this team. I haven't seen any of their games. I literally don't even know the names of the players on the team. So they're going to be kind of new to me, and it's going to be interesting seeing them play. Now, Turkey's team, Kaboom from Brazil, last year, international wildcard in the Worlds tournament, actually won a game against Alliance, which was the #1 seed from Europe. So we'll see if they can kind of live up to the Kaboom hype and at least win one game. Out of their 5, I don't think so, because these are the best of the best, and not just because Worlds is 3 teams from each major region and then 2 from the subs. So this is just the best team from each region right now. So I highly doubt they'll win a single game. After that, we have Fnatic from EU. Fnatic is a very young team with 2 Koreans on it. They play hyper aggressive. They like to win early game.
And they're pretty known too, as far as like compared to AHQ and the Buena Vista Social Club.
Fnatic won the first season tournament. It wasn't called Worlds then; it was just called the Season 1 tournament. They won that back when it was basically just Europe and North America. They've won every split of the EU LCS, but the one Alliance won last summer. So the team name is very big. They're a powerhouse in League of Legends for sure. A lot of new faces this year. The only remaining member of that team is actually Yellowstar. So he's their support, the star player of that team. But Hooney, their top laner, is just ridiculously good. This kid's really fun to watch. They're a really fun team to watch in general because they have like this dive heavy mentality. Like we're gonna kill you in your turret, 4v1 in your turret, push towers down, fast push comp. I don't know if that style of play is going to do well in this tournament since the meta's changed and Europe didn't seem to have a really good grasp of the champions play this meta. So we'll see how they play out. North America is, of course, TSM. I just hope to get
Fresh
dominated.
off their victory over... were they
You're
the
thinking
ones
of
that
Fnatic.
put... Okay.
You're thinking of Fnatic beat Unicorns of Love.
Okay, that was Fnatic who did that. All right.
TSM beats Cloud9, which was like the fourth time they've played each other in the LCS finals. It's getting really boring. I really hope TSM just gets dominated. Not because I hate TSM as a team. I just hate their fans, and I want to see their fans just bitch and be like, "Oh my god, unfair tournament! Oh my god!" And then like I just want SKT and EDG just to rape this team. I want them just to, like Jodie Foster the accused this team.
Speaking of EDG, they're also going to be here.
Correct. They're China's first seed. They have two Koreans on the team, Deft and Pawn. World champion Pawn. You would know him from Samsung White last year. Deft and Pawn got paid a ridiculous amount of money to play on EDG. They're probably either them or SKT the best team in the world. I have to get it to SKT right now just because of the Faker equation. But EDG looks damn fun to watch.
Can one person carry a team that hard?
At least
I know
one
it's
game,
only
yes.
5 people, but
okay. So Faker's been playing professional League of Legends for 2 years, internationally and regionally. He's played LeBlanc, a champion in this game, 12 times now, I believe. He's undefeated on LeBlanc. You have to ban it against him. So, in tournaments in Korea,
nothing. Go on. I put up the Mighty Number 9 page again for a split second.
Oh, okay. So, in tournaments in Korea, if you get to the 5th match in a best of 5, you play a blind matchup, which means you can pick any champion you want. There are no bans, and there can be mirror matchups. So there can be 2 champions, 1 on each team, which normally can't happen in a normal pick ban match. So what happened to CJ Intis is he got to game 5, and Faker insta-locked LeBlanc, and he went 15-1-10 on that champion. So yes, he can carry games on the right champion. It's just enough. You have to ban him out, pretty much. And even then, he's still going to play whoever he wants and beat you with it. He's got a losing record on one champion, and it's 0-1.
He did it once. So that's the teams going. Format's going to be group round robin with the top 4 advancing best of 5.
Yes, and then 1 will play 4, 2 will play 3. Side note for this tournament, SKT is starting to talk trash already. They said they will not play Faker unless a team beats them. So you have to unlock Faker to play Faker. They straight up said,
like, turn themselves into a boss fight.
They straight up said, we will not play Faker until someone beats us. We're not going to play our best team and someone can actually show up and beat our B squad.
I know what your tell is, but I'm going to beat you anyways.
And the best thing is, the funny thing is, Izehun is probably the second best mid laner in Korea. And he's the backup for Faker. So the next season, I'd be shocked if he stays with SKT because I think the money's going to be too tempting for him to go elsewhere. And I'll be shocked if he's with SKT at the end of the year.
So just to clarify, 6 teams enter, 1 team leaves. Who's that team?
SKT.
Who's number 2?
EDG.
The Beskitas Esports Club. Calling it.
And who gets wiped out first?
Fnatic.
So in the semis, if I had to predict, it'd be okay. So the wild card here is going to be EDG versus SKT. I don't know who's better right now because I haven't seen them play. So during the semis, I'll give you a better prediction. Is this the first time they've
matched up?
Yes.
Okay.
So because they're different regions, so they haven't played yet, and none of them were in IEM.
Oh yeah, I was about to say I didn't know if they actually had a previous chance to get together.
If I had to guess right now, if SKT is going to lose EDG in the group because they won't play Faker. So I'm going to say that. So EDG will be the number 1 seed. SKT is going to be the number 2 seed, which I really hope because I think TSM is going to be the 3 seed and Fnatic is going to be the 4 seed, which means SKT gets to play TSM and I get to watch Faker just dominate North America's mid laner and Bjergsen, like the prodigal son of Bjergsen. I want Faker just dumpster him and just like run him into the ground and make all these TSM fans cry. And I think they're going to like 3-1 them. And
now
then
here's a bigger question and this is a spite question. Would you rather see TSM get knocked out the gate or do you want them to get all the way to the finals and just get demolished?
Oh no, dude! I want them to get wiped out in the semis. Like
Okay.
they'll get it to the semis because they're better than the international wild card and Southeast Asia. But I think they're better than EU too. But I just want SKT just to be like, nah, son. Like, remember season 3? We're gonna do that all over again.
Because it's not the team you hate, it's the fans you hate. If I
hate
recall.
the fans. Yeah,
So
I really
you don't
do.
even want to give them the chance to go, yeah, well, we almost had it. You just want a definitive, no, you didn't.
This is how TSM fans act. Okay, so they played Samsung White in the first round of the tournament phase in the Worlds last year. They won one game, and it was the one game Samsung White was just trolling them. Like they counterpicked themselves. Like they were laughing during the game.
He
like,
was friends with Computer Blue, right?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Wait.
He's trying to make it like a Prince reference to something about Samsung
Yes.
White, I believe.
Samsung White,
Oh,
Computer
yeah.
Blue.
Yeah, but that would be a Darlin Peaky. If you're gonna make a reference, make it good. So they won one game and like it was a troll game, and TSM fans were like, "Well, at least they beat a Korean team. They beat the team that won Worlds. That probably means they'll probably get second if it was in the other bracket." I'm like, no, you idiots! You would have got
Blind
hammered
Pig
by every
finds
team in there.
Mud every now and then.
Yeah, like you suck. Get over it. North America's terrible at League of Legends. We'll never win Worlds. Get over it.
All right.
That's unpatriotic.
So SKT,
Don't you know
go
the
ahead.
teams that win all have 3-letter initials? SKT, TSM, but there's one set of initials that I need to see win this tournament. That's
USA.
USA. Just throwing it
Good
out
thing
there.
TSM has a Korean and a European on it.
We'll
So
paint 'em.
SKT in a lock, you're saying, for the MSIs.
I'm not gonna say in a lock. All right, so when we get to the oh, well, it happens this week, so I won't be able to tell you.
We'll
If
learn
you put him
next
in the
week.
line right now, I will say SKT in 5 against EDG in the finals.
Okay. Anything else you want to go ahead and bring up before we wrap it up here, Sean? Is that it?
That's it.
David, anything you want to say?
I vote against whatever Sean said, even though I am so far over however many.
So,
So
Sean,
are
you
you-
vote SKT. David votes the other 5 teams.
He's
One
taking
of
the
you
field.
will be right.
He's taking the field.
Yeah, I choose you, everybody else.
Uh,
Use Thunderbolt.
He's got a good
That's
chance
great.
with this one with EDG, man.
I think that's going to wrap up the show. Princess Christy, thank you for showing up again. I appreciate you joining in chat. We didn't get to you when you logged on, but you know what? We were in the middle of something. I just want to say thanks for showing up. And this has been Game Points. Thanks for watching us. We stream every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're streaming Tuesday because, well, one of us had to fly home from vacation was on. We just couldn't do it yesterday, but the
we were
show
all drunk.
must go on, and we were all drunk. If you like the show, you can follow us at Twitter at GamePointsPC. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email us at GamePointsPC@gmail.com. Give us any show ideas, topics, whatever. Love you too, Princess Chrissy. I appreciate it. You can give us a like on Game Points Podcast at the Facebook. Just type that in right there, and we pop right up. You can follow us individually. I am, of course, Stephen Brown. You can follow me at CapitalistPig21. Down there is our esports expert, Vidisco Keen, also known as Sean Brown, and across from him, David Smith at Palstrife Satori. Don't worry about tweeting him. He's not going to respond. Once again, thank you for watching. This has been Game Points, and we are out of here.